Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a new lesson, that is cell structure and functions. As you know, the name of cell, we are to divide it into two parts. That is, we have to see the structure of a cell as well as we have to study the functions of a cell. Clear? And even along with this video, I will be sending you a self-assessment sheet for your previous chapter, that is conservation of plants and animals. Please fill that one also and send it along with this worksheet, which I will be sending it along with this video. Clear? So now already in class 7 we have discussed, or till now we have discussed, that whatever things around us are there, either they are made up of living things or non-living things only, and the living things are considered as organisms which will be carrying out some basic functions. These functions will be like digestive system is there, the functions of digestion will be there, excretion will be there, reproduction will be there. So all those functions will be done, and these functions will be performed by various set of organism. Because in class 7 we have studied that cells together will form tissues, tissues together will form organ, and organs together will form an organ system, and organ system together will be forming an organism. So each cell, even a cell is there, it has its own functions. Like if you are talking, we have studied in class 7 about the red blood cells we have studied, white blood cells we have studied, plasma we have seen. Each of it has its own function, and these cells, here in this class we are going to see about this structural unit which we call it as cell, because a living organism is made up of a cell. So all the living organisms are made up of cells, and these cells is defined as a structural and functional unit of an organism. So whatever function is being performing by this organism will be performed by this cell only. And the cell is the smallest part of living organisms which can function independently. Means a cell, this is a very small part of a living organism, but it will be functioning its own independently, and it can perform various functions like respiration is there, circulation is there, growth and reproduction. In class 7 we have studied about respiration, we have seen about the circulation system, we have seen about the growth and reproduction. We are going to study about in the next lesson for us. And every part of our body is made up of tiny cells. Each and every part of our body is made up of cells for us. Even if you are talking about nail, if you are talking about hairs, each and everything in our body is made up of cells. The organisms which are made up of cells are known as multicellular organism. If it is made up of many cells, we call it as multicellular. Like we human beings are made up of multicellular organisms, because we require many types of cells. Cells are there, tissues are there, organ is there, then organ system is there. After organ system, we living organism has been, human beings been created. But there are some organisms which are made up of only one cell. Such organisms we call it as unicellular, means they are made up of only one cell, or single celled organisms will be there. Like example we will be having as amoeba and paramecium. These are the two organisms which are made up of single cell, means they are not going to have any organ system, no separate organs, no tissues will be there, but they are living organism, and all the functions will be performed by this single cell itself only. That is, respiration is performed, circulation will be performed, growth will be there, there, reproduction will be there, everything is done by the single cell itself only. So for that reason we call them as unicellular. But when we are coming to we human beings, at the time we are having separate system, we are having separate respiratory system, separate circulatory system, separate digestive system, separate reproductive system, all those things we are having separate. So for that reason we call it as multicellular organism. Clear? So now in this class we are going to study about these cells, the structural unit of this cell, and we are going to compare these cells as of like bricks, because to prepare a house we require a bricks, walls prepare that we require a bricks. We will be assembling these bricks and we will be making a wall and the house will be created. Similarly, we will be assembling these cells to make a body of every living organism. So first of all we see about the discovery of this cell, how this cell was been discovered. So in it is written as 19, but it is 1665. Sorry, made the correction in this one. In the year 1665, that was a scientist named as Robert Hooke observed a slice of cork from a bark of a tree under a simple magnifying glass, and he noticed a small boxes or compartments in the cork slice. The boxes were separated from each other by a wall of partition. He named each of these boxes as cell, and then how this is how the cell was been discovered. The cell which Hooke observed was actually a dead cell of a plant. As you can see it in the picture, he has observed this as a small compartment, small cells he can able to see. So he has observed this, and this was a dead cell. Here these were dead, and this structural unit when he has discovered under a crude microscope, he has seen many boxes like which were separated by this partition. Actually the structure of a cell came into light after 150 years, means whatever 1665 he has observed a dead cell, after that 150 years it took to later when a powerful microscope was being invented, and the most powerful microscope to date is electron microscope. We are having nowadays using the electron microscope, and Antonio van Leeuwenhoek was the first one to observe the living cell. So the first living cell was being observed by a person, scientist named as Antonio van Leeuwenhoek was the first one to observe a living cell. What is this cell? This cell is a basic structural unit of a living organism. This is the basic structural unit of a living organism. Some organisms are made up of single cell and some are made up of many cells, as we have discussed. So the number of cells in a tall tree or animals like elephant or human beings are billions and trillions of cells. Means it depends upon the structural how it is there. Like we are constructing a house, we can construct a single room house, we can construct a bungalow, we can construct a skyscraper, we can have a 15-story building. That depends upon the cell, how much bricks we are using in that one. In the same manner here also we will be going to have about an elephant or an human being. Organisms which are made up of many cells, we call it as multicellular organisms. Like a tree, an elephant, human being, all are coming in multicellular organisms. Organisms which are made up of a single cell, we call it as unicellular organisms like amoeba and paramecium. This is amoeba and paramecium. This is amoeba and this is paramecium. And this is a tree and elephant, you know. This is amoeba. egg, and this is paramecium. Okay, this is paramecium. Amoeba and paramecium are called as single cell organism. Then we will be having an organisms which will be having a different shape and structures will be there, that we will be studying it in the next class. This is about till here we have studied about the multicellular organisms we have seen, and the number of cells. As you see, in human beings, we have human beings, it will turn to billion or trillions of cells we will be having, and different groups of cell perform the different functions, and depending upon it we call it as multicellular and unicellular organisms. Example we have discussed as paramecium and amoeba. These will be having a single cell. They will be capturing, digesting food, respiration, excretes, grow, reproduction. Everything will be done by this single cell itself only. And in the next class tomorrow we are going to see about the shape of a cell. Okay, now we will be observing, this is a microscope. As you can see here, this is a microscope where we will be using this microscope. This is called as the eyepiece, where we will be having a lens will be present in this one. This is a lens, we will be using it as, this is called as an eyepiece. Then we will be having, this is called as a knob, wherein we can able to increase or decrease the size of this one. And then we will be having this, we called it as the lens, object lens will be there. In different size we will be having it. As you can see here, we can able to make it to 10x, that is extra large, to 160. Here in the same manner we can increase whichever size we require. Here also it's given as 40. We can increase the size by 40. We can increase this, we can increase by 10. This we can increase by 10. This we can increase by 40, and this we can go for extra increasing it. This we will be having a lens here. Here we will be having, this is the mirror. These are the strip holders where we will be keeping this one, and this adjustment we can able to do with the help of this one. The size of an object, how we can able to increase or decrease, we can able to do using this one. This is called as a compound microscope. Here we can increase the size, we can bring it up or we can bring it down using this knob. So here also we are having a lens piece. You can see it as 10x, means magnifying, we are doing it 10 times we can able to do. Then here we will be having 10 times. Here we can able to have at 40 times we can able to use this one. So this is a compound microscope which we will be using it in our lab to find out the informations related to this objects. Okay, this is how we can able to using the information, we can able to find out the, see the object size bigger under this microscope. Clear? Understood? Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.